button has been hit, and now we will just take a few minutes. It says that we are live. We have our stream going, Swaggo.
Yeah.
We are live here in the fan cave, not for Raiders fan radio, though.
No, we're going to change it up, spice it up.
Spice it up, man. We're doing something different tonight here in the fan cave.
Something we ain't done in about 1,000,000 years.
That one show that's the other show, or one of the other shows on our network?
Yeah, my favorite show on the Murf's Fan Cave Network.
Is it really your favorite?
Well, because the intro says Swag, Jeff, and Murf.
Oh yeah, you're all about self-interest.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah, because if you're half of this show, you're a third of the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like being a.
Oh, I'm all about it.
Yeah, you're all about being a half. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is.
No,
just let it go. Keep it.
Yeah, we got some folks in here.
We got folks in the chat already?
Yeah, we got Atticus B. Rockin' in there, Demon Death, Sean Athletic and Raider Nation, Raider Roo, Ron the Mater Raider.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, well, let's see. We're not quite at 6:45, so we'll let it build for a minute, man. Appreciate all of you guys joining us in the chat as always. Hey, while we're doing this, I'll tell you what, since before I hit the button, there's my camera there. Let me know if there's any audio hitches on that. We did some changes up to some of the camera and the audio stuff tonight. So let me know if there's any hitches in my audio, because we have had a history of that, Swaggo. So
yeah,
before I've actually hit the button for...
Yeah, you sound like you're talking into a fan.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know if everything sounds good.
Demon Death says it sounds great.
Okay, good. Well, perfect. Well, then I guess we'll go ahead and I'll hit the button over here, and then we'll hit the button over here, and let's get started with this episode of Tales from the Nation.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders fan radio from Murf's Fan Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Biletnikoff, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you. We love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down. Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what we hope to be a fantastic episode of This is the first ever Tales from the Nation live. That's right, no Raiders fan radio tonight live from Murf's Fan Cave. We're doing the other show, or one of the other shows that's on the Murf's Fan Cave network. We are doing an episode of Tales from the Nation live, so we won't be talking about the current Raiders tonight. Maybe a little bit of that might creep in, especially considering the content and all the rumors that are swirling around the guy that's at the center of all of this, that is number 12, Tom Brady. So we might talk a little bit about that, but for the most part, we're going to talk about the history of this play, and that is the tuck rule and its impact on the Raiders, and the impact at that time, and then the aftermath and all that good stuff and all the things that swirl around that. So anyways, that is what Tales from the Nation is when we go back and explore significant moments in the Raiders history. And I definitely do not do this show alone. And so welcome in my co-host for the evening, the one and only Swag Jeff. What's
That's
up, Swaggo?
right. Yo, I am so excited to be back here, guys. I am so excited. It's been 3 weeks. Christmas time happened and all that good stuff. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. But I am so glad to be back here for Tales from the Nation.
Tales from the Nation, dude. The show that you are half of. You're not a third of Raiders Fan Radio. You are a half of Tales from the Nation.
Oh, yeah.
And while we're talking about the show and we got your camera shot on, show off that sexy swag.
Hey,
you got going on
looky there. We got a Tales from the Nation shirt courtesy of Just Win Johnny. Big shout out to that man right there. He made the shirt for us, and we can't thank you enough, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and I've got mine on as well. These aren't for sale or anything. These are one-offs. These are things that Johnny sent to us. And it's legit, man. That Tales from the Nation logo is one of our favorite logos.
Oh, it's my favorite.
It's of the Murf's Fan Cave Network, man. It's
Yeah.
legit, man. So we appreciate Johnny for sending those our way. And so, so this is Tales from the Nation. I mentioned already what the show is, but that said, we are doing it live.
Yes.
So, Swaggo, tell us about what we got going on in the chat room tonight.
So we got everyone in here. We got Ron the Mater Raider, Atticus B. Rockin', Raider Roo, Mojo, Demon Death, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Herman Munster, Pirate 1975. We got the whole gang in here.
Awesome, man. Appreciate everybody joining us live. And you could join us live most every Wednesday night at youtube.com/Murf's Fan Cave. That's MURFS Fan Cave. And so please support us in that way. And you can also support us by subscribing to the audio versions of our podcast, which you can find on any podcast service that you care to partake in, and that would be Apple Podcasts, that could be Google Play, that could be Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify. If you can find an audio podcast, you can certainly find us. So please subscribe to us in that way and support what we got going on here at the show. So speaking of the show and speaking of the network, so the Murf's Fan Cave Network is a collection of different podcasts that we produce, some in-house and some externally. And so we've had some changes lately. The flagship show that you will always find is Raiders Fan Radio. And then we have this show, Tales from the Nation, where we explore the different various significant moments within Raider history. Then we also have the newly joined, actually it's not even that new anymore, but Mojo, who you know is a made man here and does Mojo's Pod Show. Mojo's Pod Show, the audio version of that is now part of the Fan Cave Network. And thankfully I got a chance to join Mojo last night.
Yeah, you did.
Oh man, it was a lot of fun. We had such a great time. You guys know me. I don't drink beer much anymore, and I certainly don't on the air, but I did last night.
Yeah, you did.
It was really fun, man. And shout out to my girlfriend Max and her recommendation of the 44.
Oh my gosh, from Black Abbey.
Black Abbey, dude.
It's my favorite, man. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good, right?
It's a coffee stout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when they originally released it, it's like a Colombian coffee or something like that, and they named it after Barack Obama.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
The 44. He's the 44th president.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yes.
Dude, nice, Swaggo. Dropping that knowledge on us, man.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, and
So good.
and they get those coffee beans from the Frothy Monkey. You know, which is a local coffee shop.
Yes.
And you know what? That's where I met Max.
Oh my gosh.
I know. All right. How cool is that?
Oh my gosh. My heart is melting.
Yes, it is. Hey, you meant to say Max.
Max.
So anyway, so cool stuff there from Mojo, and glad to be part of his show last night, and look for that coming up soon here on the Murf's Fan Cave Network. And then so the Fan Club Blitz, they're kind of going on and doing their own thing now.
Yeah, good for them.
And good for them, and we wish them the best. And then also Mondays with Mike and Murf kind of on a hiatus, so we're not sure what's going to go on there. And we got some other ideas in the pipeline. You know what I mean? We're always ever evolving this whole content creator thing. So anyways, so tonight though, Tales from the Nation. We're going to kick it off, the first live ever Tales from the Nation with the Tuck Rule. But, Swaggo, we played the RFR intro
at
the beginning of this show, but we have an intro for Tales from the Nation.
Oh, yeah, we do.
It's a good one. So let's go ahead and switch over, and let's kick this thing off official and do the Tales from the Nation introduction.
Just win, baby. Commitment to excellence. The famed silver and black. The holy roller. Goes to the post. The immaculate reception. Time never really stops for the great ones.
Tales of greatness. Tales of legend. Tales that define our very existence as fans. Some tales are of epic proportion. Some tales are heartbreaking memories of missed opportunity. Raider Nation is full of these tales. Let's take a journey through the past and present and relive the Raiders' adventure in the NFL. Here's Swag Jeff and Murf coming to you live from the dungeons of Murf's Fan Cave.
The indestructible Jim Otto, George Blanda, the greatest clutch player the game has ever known, Willie Brown, the magnificent cornerback, Gene Upshaw, Ted Hendricks, and of course, the magnificent Art Shell. And then you take Tom Flores, the star player who coached us to 2 Super Bowls. Let me take you back a few years to Frank Ewell Field, to the Oakland Coliseum, to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, relive the moments of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. To those of us who saw you battle to the top, we will never forget you. You know, Raider football was always emotional. We loved to take those memorable trips throughout the league, and we were hated, we were feared, but we were respected.
These are our moments. These are our stories. These are Tales from the Nation.
Man, so there's the intro for Tales from the Nation. So
Yeah.
so we're gonna talk tonight. Look, some of these we've done have been fun stories. Like the divine interception, right? When the Raiders
Yes.
sealed the victory against the Houston Texans on the just right after Al Davis passed away. Some of these not so much. And we knew going into this show that eventually we were going to have to do the tuck rule. And we knew that this show normally runs 20, 30 minutes. We knew it was going to be much longer to cover and explore the tuck rule fairly, much longer than 20, 30 minutes. So then Swago had the idea. He said, hey, let's do it live. And I think that's a great idea because I think this could be cathartic. I think that this could be a way for us to kind of all have a group therapy session. Those of you in the chat, we've got a call we're going to feature tonight. And really, and on the not the eve of, but in the short term of Tom Brady now being eliminated by the playoffs from your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, from my ex-girlfriend, yeah.
Which was amazing, Swaggo.
She actually came in clutch a little bit.
Absolutely. Titans beating the Patriots. And look, I'm rooting for them for the way out. I hope they win. Why not? I hope they win it all.
Yeah.
And you know what? I certainly don't want the Chiefs and don't want the Niners and a lot of other teams.
No,
So
I root for the Raiders every week, but if they're not in, you got to pull for someone, I guess, right?
Why not, man? I'll root for the Titans. They live down the street from us.
why not?
We'll support them.
Why
So
not?
anyway, so that said, we're gonna kind of go through this thing. We're gonna go through this tuck rule thing. And Swaggo, why don't you go ahead and start off? Set us up, maybe start to kind of paint the picture for us of what it looked like back in the day.
Just to kind of piggyback what you said, because this moment and this game really was the start of a dynasty. Say what you want. Say what you want about the Patriots. Say what you want about Tom Brady. This game kind of was the start of his dynasty and the Patriots dynasty. So now that his dynasty is over, or pretty much over, we can talk about this. So
I think so. I think that's a good point. That it kind of feels like we're getting to a closure point with them.
It is. He announced on Instagram today that he is coming back. He said
Tom is?
Yes, Tom is coming back. Now, whether that's with the Patriots or not, we don't know.
Let's go ahead. We'll hit that. So because that's the relevance to today. The speculation.
The speculation is that he may be going for the Dischargers or the Raiders.
Jeez, come on,
which is crazy. Which is crazy. And so you talked about this with Mojo last night, but what happens? I mean, what if he's in silver and black?
We talked a lot about last night, so I'll redirect everybody to Mojo as far as my opinion on it. Go listen to Mojo's pod show. It should be up on his channel. We'll have the audio version up here on Murf's Fan Cave. I talked a lot about I kind of walked through my feelings as a fan of what that would look like if Tom Brady were to become a Raider. But let me hear yours.
I love the Raiders. I just love the Raiders. And if you wear silver and black, I'll root for you. So do I want Tom Brady? Do I want him as a Raider? Hell no. No, I don't. He needs to be with the Patriots and just if the Patriots don't want him, just retire. Just retire and be done, or go somewhere else. But that being said, if Mike Mayock and John Gruden feel like Tom Brady is the guy that's going to bring greatness to the Raiders in Vegas, I'm not going to not root for the guy and the Raiders. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what. I gave my answer, and please go to that show to check it out. But I'll tell you what Mojo told me. Just win, baby.
Plain and simple, man.
Right?
Plain and simple. I want to see him succeed. And if they feel like he's the guy,
God, caramba, that would be weird.
It'd be weird.
Oh,
It'd
gosh,
be weird.
it'd be so
I wouldn't.
Would it be weirder though than Jerry Rice or Bill Romanowski or Tom Rathman or Ronnie Lott or Rod Woodson or we are littered with examples of guys that were Hall of Fame players or at least high caliber players coming and being playing with the Raiders after But anyway, whatever. That's all another story. Let's not get into that. Let's go. Let's keep this thing back in 2001. Let's go with the tuck rule. Set us up, Jeff. What does it look like going into Foxborough that night?
First, let's do this.
Okay.
All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us, show at RaidersFanRadio.com, or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Murf's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit? Good.
So let's go back to 2001. Sorry, that tickled me. So 2001.
Yes.
So the off season before the 2001 season, the Raiders were gearing up, man. They were coming in.
Yeah.
They were acquiring weapons. They were, speaking of guys we uneasy about being in silver and black, they acquired Jerry Rice in that offseason.
Yeah.
They acquired Jerry Rice, and they were looking poised to make another Super Bowl run after the AFC Championship game the previous year, where they lost 16-3 to the Ravens.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And-
After Tony Saragusa's fat butt landed on Rich Gann and broke his shoulder and cost us the freaking game.
Exactly. So we head into the season. Rich Gannon's back. He's in form after the injury, ready to go. And the Raiders go 10-6. They go 10-6, and they win their second consecutive AFC West title.
Yes.
So they go into the playoffs, and they put a little hurting on the Jets.
Oh.
In the wild card round.
Oh, Charlie Garner, baby.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that?
Well, I'll tell you, man, one of my favorite plays, I would say in recent Raider history. This is a long time ago now, but gosh, it was amazing. So I was living out here at the time, so I'd relocated to the Middle Tennessee from the Bay Area, and I was watching the game at Mosh's house. So shout out to Uncle Mosh, who is the Western Annex is a little quiet over there tonight because Mosh isn't with us. So I'm watching the game at Mosh's house, and Charlie Garner, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, and I didn't look any of this up, but I'm pretty sure at the end of the game, to win it, Charlie Garner took off for like 80 yards for a touchdown.
Exactly, an 80-yard touchdown.
All right, there you go. And so as Charlie Garner is running down the field, and we should have had that audio. You know what? We'll do another Tales from the Nation on that because that was amazing. So he's taking off, scores the game-winning touchdown, and me and Mosh are freaking out, man. We're screaming and yelling, and my Aunt Kathy, KP, comes around the corner, and she probably don't remember this, but she's like, "What are y'all yelling about?" And I grab her and give her this big, giant bear hug and pick her up, and we're like, "Yeah!" Like it was like, "Yeah, F the Jets!"
Yeah!
It was amazing. Like that game was phenomenal. Like that was such a good time to be a Raider fan.
Yeah.
Chat room, shout us out, man. Let me know if you remember those days, man, because that was, man, it seems like it, and it really is a long time ago now, but it just seems like another world ago because we've been so bad for so long. But anyways, yeah, great game, Swaggo.
Yeah. I think I was in the 8th grade when that game happened. If that makes you feel old.
Yeah, well, that did too. Thanks. Appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah, but so Garner had the big play. Jerry Rice, 9 catches, which tied at the time a playoff record for most receptions in a playoff game, 183 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
And they were coming in hot, ready to roll, man. And then they go to Foxborough. January 19th, 2002, the divisional round playoff game. They head into the game. And it's another word for this. Everyone calls it the tuck rule game, but it was the Snow Bowl.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was the Snow Bowl.
Yeah.
And so the game, so they're up 13-10. The Raiders are.
And isn't this the last game in Foxborough?
The last game in Foxborough.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes, absolutely.
Foxborough Stadium, anyways,
Foxborough
before the
Stadium,
new
yes,
Gillette
before
and all that
Gillette.
business.
Yep. But yeah, so before this play happened, before the infamous play happened, the play before, the Raider cornerback Eric Allen, who was lurking around the Patriots sideline, heard Brady talking to the offensive coordinator and heard the play that was called.
Oh,
and so
look
Eric,
at you dropping some knowledge, Swaggo.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Eric Allen runs to the sidelines and tells the defensive coordinator, "This is what they're running. This is what they're running." And so be ready for it. So the play was called, and they called a corner blitz. And
Nice.
everyone's favorite, number 24, Charles Woodson,
The GOAT,
comes in and just lays a smack on his former Michigan Wolverines teammate, Tom Brady, and the ball pops out. The ball pops out, and who was it? Greg Biekert falls on the ball.
Number 54.
Minute 43 left. The game's over.
Game's over.
The game's over, man. 13-10 Raiders victory. Or so we thought.
Let's listen to the call live.
The 42. Blitz. Lost the football. It's on the ground. Covered by the Raiders.
His college teammate, Charles Woodson, on the blitz. Tom Brady never sees him coming from the front side. Greg Biekert recovers the fumble. Charles Woodson, first time today I've seen him come on a blitz.
Oh. The question is, did he pull it down? His arm was going forward, but was he throwing the football?
Well, the exact term I can't think of, but if you throw a pass, and as you're faking that pass, now watch, as you're faking the pass, if it slipped out of your hand, that would be an incomplete pass. But was it forced out by Charles Woodson? I don't think the recoil of the fake throw is what made it come out of Tom Brady's hand.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass. Second and 10 on the 42.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That's rough, man.
That's rough.
It's rough going back and listening to that. So you said you were in the 8th grade when this happened. I remember exactly where I was. I was working at a liquor store.
Nice.
Part-time, yeah. So just to kind of fill in, a little bit, make some extra cash.
Well, yeah.
And I had to work that night. And I'm like, I am not working if I can't watch this football game. And so I set up a TV. I got a TV from the back, like the break room, and I brought it out and had it sitting up front. And like during this point, I'll never forget, like I was ignoring everyone. Like people are like coming in the store and all this stuff, and I'm like completely ignoring it. And I'm like waiting for them to come out and make the announcement of it was Walt Coleman, right? If I remember right, the referee on the call there. And I'm like wait, and I'm like, and people are like, hey man, you got. I'm like, I don't care about the customers. Like watching the game. Like oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, so.
I'm surprised you didn't crack open a bottle of Jack Daniels or something.
Yeah, no, well, like the old saying goes, this team makes me drink. Well,
there's
one of them. Why?
Absolutely.
So tell us where you were, Raider Nation. Everybody in the chat there, man. I'm curious to hear where you were. Do you remember, Swaggo, where you were when you saw this?
Well, I mean,
you were young, so like
I was young. I mean,
did you watch it live?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was probably at my parents' house, and I was pulling for the Raiders, honestly. After that, I mean, it's the first time I ever rooted for the Raiders.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, look at that.
Full circle in this show.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the call was bullcrap.
Ugh.
I mean, that's what I mean, it was insane.
It was. And so jumping into the chat there, excuse me. Mojo said, I thought I could do this. I'm just not sure. I want to break something and just listening to that audio. I'm with you, Mojo.
Well, yeah.
And this is this is therapy here. We're all gonna do this together. Paul is in there. Paul, our buddy from across the pond at Shropshire, Mississippi. Atticus be rockin'. Ron the Materator, Pirate 1975. Raider born Rico in the Canary Islands. What's up, Raider Rico? And let's see who else. Demon Death is in there. Just Win Johnny, Ron the Materator, of course. Ernie Cortez, Kevin the Raider Nerd. What's up, Kevin the Raider Nerd? Kevin says, I was living in Virginia Beach, Virginia, watching that effing game.
Nice.
Like I love it. There's nothing but colorful adjectives in terms of describing this game.
Yes.
So let's jump to NFL Network and their breakdown of it. So the Raiders had, out of all the controversial plays in the according to NFL Network and the top 10, the top 2 were Raider plays. Of course, the Immaculate Deception was number 1, and the Tuck Rule was number 2. And here's them breaking it down.
Call of all time. 2. The Tuck Rule.
Here he is, bearing down on Brady, calls the fumble.
One of the most heinous crimes ever committed against a team was that Tuck Rule.
Snowy Foxborough Stadium was the setting for one of the most memorable games in NFL history.
If you love football to be played in the elements, this is your night.
It was like a snow globe. Giant flakes falling down all night long.
But the surreal surroundings had nothing on the surreal ending.
The weather was secondary in that game because of how it played itself out, because it all came down to the top.
Tom Brady had been under heavy pressure from the Raiders all day, and with the score 13-10 with under 2 minutes to go, it was time for our number 2 most controversial call.
I started to throw the ball to the left, and the defensive lineman was standing there, and as I was coming down to recock it and get the ball out to the running back, that's when I got hit.
Here he is, bearing down on Brady, calls the fumble. Baker dives on the ball. The Raiders have the ball.
Just saw the ball on the ground. I saw them recover, and I'm thinking our season's over.
I was so pissed. I couldn't believe that I'd fumbled the ball to lose the game.
The Raiders are going back.
You hear what he just said right there?
What did he say?
He said, "I can't believe I fumbled the ball." Sounds like he admitted what, and we got more of that coming, but
we?
Yeah, but there was right there. He said it right there.
Well,
I can't believe I fumbled the ball.
To the AFC Championship game.
And next thing you know, the referee starts doing this, and they say they want to review it.
The play is going to be reviewed, though, Greg.
Why?
Review it whether it was a fumble or not, I guess.
Was his arm coming forward?
There was some confusion as to what they were doing. Hey, what's the holdup?
No, that's a fumble. That's a fumble. That is a fumble, and Beacon recovered.
The world was about to become intimately familiar with the Tuck Rule.
When a teammate player is holding the ball to pass it forward, any intentional forward movement
of his hand starts a forward pass.
Even if the player loses possession
of the ball as he is attempting
to tuck it back toward his body.
After reviewing the play,
this is hard, Jeff. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to get through.
This is crazy.
Okay, I'm going to play a couple more, a little bit of this.
quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete.
All right. Patriots retain the ball.
Here, but takes away the decision that you have to make. Does it come out here? Does it come out here?
Okay, I can't handle that anymore. Whatever.
You
guys
get the point.
You guys get the point. That's
we all saw
it's freaking painful, man. I look, and it's a bunch of people breaking it down and a bunch of people giving their opinions on it. But there's only a handful of people whose opinions, frankly, that I care about on it.
Yeah.
And first and foremost is Al Davis. So instead of listening to all these jabronis talk about it, let's listen to Al.
It's my opinion of almost everybody in the world, that the play was a fumble. It should have been called a fumble. That someone would reverse it without conclusive, indisputable visual evidence is just unbelievable. But that's what happened. That's what we have to live with. But we'll always consider that play a fumble.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's period.
Plain and simple.
Period. End of story. And it's like, I forget who it was that talked about the there's the bar test. Like if you ask 10 people in a bar, is that a fumble? The answer to that question, 10 out of 10 is yes. Right? And I forget who it was. It was like Schlereth or somebody like that, or Baldinger, or somebody's got that rule. But and I think about that a lot of times. Like you think about the Saints Rams play. That happened just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Right? It was Saints Rams, right?
Yeah.
With the pass interference,
Yeah,
right?
the blatant pass interference.
Yeah. Like if you ask 10 out of 10 people in a bar watching that game, all of them say that's pass interference, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what the Tuck Rule was.
Absolutely, yeah. For sure.
So so we heard Al on it. Now look, I kind of got these in order here. That's like 3 of the guys that you want to hear their opinion on. One is Al, one is Gruden, and one is Charles Woodson. So let's hear John Gruden. I think.
Well,
that one doesn't count.
Huh?
That play's over with. Come on now.
You never get over that.
2,500
That'll be
miles
ever.
away.
I'm scarred forever.
That'll be on his headstone.
You and I, we've had dinner together. At least a half an hour is always set aside for you to talk about the officiating.
Used to be when you watched a football game, if there was a holding call, they might show the referee signaling holding.
Testing the on-field microphone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now they got their own television show. We got to put the microphone on the referee so we can hear holding, offense. I see that. Number 75, the right guard. That'll be a 15-yard penalty and a first down. It drives me crazy. But if you guys do throw a flag, the film guy, he'll film the flag, and then we'll go right to you, and you'll be able to give some practice on your, everything's changed. Speed of the game has changed. Shotgun formations.
What do you think of the Wildcat?
I love it.
Oh, man, I think I got the wrong audio clip here. This is the one where he goes, what do you think about the tuck rule, John? He says, I think the tuck rule is a crock of ass.
Nice.
Like, that's what it is. That's basically I pulled the wrong audio clip there. But anyways, that's John Gruden. Obviously, this was in between his coaching career. Like, this was after he got fired from Tampa Bay, before he started back with the Raiders when he was an analyst.
Yeah.
And Steve Sable had him on, and he asked him about the tuck rule, and he said it was a crock of crap. All right. Next up, let's go to Charles Woodson and listen to Charles Woodson on the Rich Eisen Show.
So I am mandated on behalf of New England fans everywhere, including the gentleman to my left, who you know is a New England fan, and also my wife.
I turned my back to him.
No, I understand you did.
Wow.
The difference is the tuck. Do you not believe the tuck rule was appropriately applied as it was written in the rule book?
I do not. I feel like here's a interesting thing about it, the way I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I watch the news a lot. A lot of times you'll have, two economists on television, and they'll be talking about their economy. One will say the economy is doing great, and one will say it's in the tank. But you're like, oh, these are economists. They both have the same facts and figures, same numbers. How can they have differences of opinion, right? 2 + 2 is 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 + 2 is 4?
Yes.
Correct.
We're all in agreement.
Right. So when you look at the missed call, if you ask 100% of Saints fans, 100% of Rams fans, should it have been called?
There you go.
Everybody would say yes.
Yes.
2 + 2 is 4.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, 2 + 2 is still 4, but they added 1. So 2 + 2 = 5. Why? Because they were able to add their own interpretation into it. So they took a play, 2 + 2 is 4, a fumble. They added their own interpretation and made it into incomplete pass.
Because they ruled it a fumble and came back and looked at it. He's just in the process of bringing it down when you hit him.
He was able to take the rule and justify why he overturned it. So if me and you were in a court of law and you're arguing that his arm was going forward, I would say, well, show me the part where his arm's going forward. You would show the tape. You see his arm going forward, and then you'd bring it back. And then I say, well, tell me, when did he fumble? Did he fumble while his arm was going forward? And you would have to tell me, no. He brought it when he brought it back into his body. Hence the tuck rule, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So was he bringing it back into his body, or was it into his body? So there's a technicality to it.
Hey, look.
So he wasn't bringing the ball back into his body. When I hit him, he had it, both hands on the ball. It's in his body. He ain't bringing it back into his body. It's a fumble.
It's a fumble.
It's a fumble, man. It's a fumble.
I can't.
And Charles Woodson's got plenty more to say about it.
Plenty more to say about it. In fact, we're going to hit one more, and then we're going to get into some more fun stuff around this. I promise we're not just going to relive all the despair and the angst around the bad call and the interpretation and all that garbage. But we're just going to.
Hey, so before you get into this,
yeah,
Paul says it's my first time on the live chat, and I'm stomping him around my room at 1 o'clock in the morning, angry and ready to go to sleep now. Paul, stick with us, brother.
He finally makes it into a live show, and he picked the Tales from the Nation. We're doing the tuck rule. Sorry, Paul.
Oh my gosh.
We're sending a lot of love and positive vibes your way, man. A lot of yeah. Sorry, buddy. I appreciate you joining us, though. It's good to have you.
Yeah.
It's really cool to have you. All right, so I promise this is gonna get fun in a minute. We're gonna start playing with this in a second. But first off, let's continue the Charles Woodson thing and listen to him talk about it on A Football Life.
In frozen Foxborough, the Raiders battered Tom Brady. They led by 3. A trip to the AFC Championship game was just over 2 minutes away.
But it didn't end the way it should have ended. Yeah, I'm coming off the left side. I see Brady drop back, getting ready to launch the ball. There's my opportunity.
Woodson showing blitz. Here he is bearing down on Brady. Calls the fumble. Beacon dives on the ball. The Raiders have the ball. Charles Woodson came on a corner blitz, and he rocked his former Michigan teammate.
Game over. Or so we thought.
The play is going to be reviewed, though, Greg.
Why? He does bring it forward, but that's not to pass the ball.
He pumped it. He was pulling the ball back.
So the more time went on, the more everybody on the sidelines like, I think we're about to get screwed.
The quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete.
Oh, man, what a call that is.
That's the worst call in the history of all sports. All the air was let out of the Oakland Raiders. After that happened, we never recovered.
It's a sudden death for the Raiders season as they are beaten here on this dark, freezing night in Foxborough.
Clearly a fumble. You know, the guy was going to throw the ball.
This is Woodson right after the game.
Post-game?
Post-game, yeah.
Ball. He pumped it, brung it back down, and then I hit him, the ball came out. Clearly a fumble.
So you totally disagree with the fact it was overturned?
Damn right I disagree. Time owes me. But
Okay, this is cool. Listen to what Charles Woodson has to say right here. This is neat because this is going to lead into our next audio clip.
you know what? Me and Tom have never talked about that play. And so I imagine maybe sometime, maybe I'll just sit down with him in a lonely bar somewhere, just me and him, and I'll just ask him point blank, Tom, just tell me. If you could just tell everybody in the world what it was, what was it? I know what he would say.
That's pretty cool. Okay, Swaggo. So,
Okay.
So Charles says, I would love to sit down with Tom and just ask him. And I know what he would say.
Okay.
Well, the Raiders fan radio, or in this case, Tales from the Nation, microphones were there.
Oh, were they?
And we heard it when Charles Woodson, this is not a joke, this is really Charles Woodson sitting down with Tom Brady and confronting him about the tuck rule. And listen, Raider Nation, pay attention to how awkward this gets and how quick. These are two guys that were teammates. Like these guys are buddies. They're Michigan teammates.
Yes.
Listen to how awkward this is.
First things first, man, let's get the hard question out of the way. 2001, we're playing you guys, playoff game.
Woodson showing blitz. Here he is bearing down on Brady. Calls the fumble. Beaker dives on the ball. Charles Woodson came on a corner blitz, and he rocked his former Michigan teammate, the guy who lockered only 2 stalls away from him in Ann Arbor, and knocked the ball away.
Just got to ask you, man, was it a fumble? All right, that was pretty awkward. So I guess we'll kind of
let's move
get
on
into
to
the
something
present.
else.
Yeah, we'll get into the present.
Yeah.
Wow. All we heard was.
Yeah, right. So if you see the video, Tom does like when Charles asks him the question, Tom goes, and just kind of shrugs. And totally on the audio podcast, you can't see me, but I'm shrugging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was really awkward. I mean, Tom knows it was a fumble. And we know Tom knows it was a fumble. We caught it in one of those earlier audio clips, Swaggo.
Yeah.
Where he admitted it.
Yeah, he said it was a fumble.
But
this isn't the first time he said it was a fumble.
He's been busted a few times, hasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so we had him say on that one thing there, he was like, oh, it was a fumble. I knew I'd fumbled, or whatever his terminology was there. Well, then also, so this year they've been doing the Peyton's Places, where Peyton Manning does.
It's a fun show,
It's
man.
a fun show. Well, the Biletnikoff one we loved,
It's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. And so, well, he has Tom Brady on there,
Okay.
And so I submit this as, so Exhibit A was the one clip from the all-time controversial calls.
Yep.
Exhibit B, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
The Tuck rule game, was it a fumble?
Oh, yeah, I thought game's over.
Yeah.
For the record, I was pulling it down. Typical Peyton Manning making me earn it.
There you go. Yeah. I was pulling it down.
He said, "Oh yeah, I thought the game was over."
Yeah, like that.
Well, yeah, so did the rest of the world.
So the rest of the world, Tom. So there you go. There's Exhibit B. All right, now I give you Swaggo Exhibit C.
Okay.
Or 3. So, so A, B, and 3. So, Tom Brady is visiting. I'm guessing it's an army base.
Okay.
It's somewhere in the Middle East. Just judging by the look of kind of the surroundings and whatnot.
Okay.
And the attire of some of the people that are in his entourage and in his group there. He gets off, or he's getting out of like a limo, right?
Okay.
So Tom's getting out of a limo, and there's a whole group of soldiers around him, and there's all these people. And one of the soldiers says something about the Raiders. And Tom says, "I hate the Raiders." Like flat out, like you'll hear it. He says,
"Oh, really?"
Yes. He said flat out, says, "I hate the Raiders." And then someone says, "What about the Tuck rule?" And pay real close attention to the end of this audio clip. It's kind of hard to hear.
Okay.
This is someone just filming on their iPhone. Okay. But listen to what Tom said. Like, this is it. There's nothing more definitive to me than this right here.
Take it easy on the Raiders. The Raiders? I'm a Raiders fan. I hate the Raiders.
You hear that? He says, "I'm a Raiders fan." Tom says, "I hate the Raiders." And everyone starts laughing. Now here we go.
Wow.
Tuck rule.
It wasn't fumble, by the way.
It was a fumble, by the way, Swaggo.
What did he say?
It wasn't fumble, by the way.
Wait. I didn't quite hear that. What did he say?
It wasn't fumble, by the way.
No. Say it one more time.
It wasn't fumble, by the way.
One more time.
It wasn't fumble, by the way.
It was a fumble, by the way.
Effing Tom Brady. Anybody wants to see him in silver and black, you kiss my culo, man.
Well, yeah.
It was
okay,
a freaking fumble, Tom.
So yeah. So he leads that off by saying, "I hate the Raiders."
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And now we're talking about this guy maybe wearing silver and black? Nah.
I hate the. Listen to it.
Take it easy on the Raiders. The Raiders? I'm a Raiders fan. I hate the Raiders.
Oh.
There you go.
And the only thing he said worse than that was, "It was a fumble, by the way."
This?
It wasn't fumble, by the way.
Oh my
gosh. Unbelievable,
What?
man. Okay. All right. So, all right. Everybody good?
Yeah, so
Are we living in the chat room? Shout them out, Swaggo.
So yeah, we got everyone. Atticus B. Rockin', Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Raider Tory, Pirate 1975, Raider Roo, Yo-Yo, Pirate 1975, Paul, Foxy Scorpio, the whole gang's in here. Kevin the Raider Nerd, Just Win Johnny, Matthew Mangus. We've got the whole crew in here, guys.
Awesome. Appreciate you joining us. So, speaking of Matthew Mangus, so we sent up the bat signal earlier this week, and we said, hey, we're going to do a live Tales from the Nation. If you got any thoughts around the game, where you were, whatever, share them with us. And so we knew this was going to be a long show. And we had a lot of audio to get to. So I picked one. I picked one call that I felt represented all of our thoughts, feelings around Raider Nation and around the Tuck rule. And not only did I pick this guy because I thought he expressed kind of where we were all at mentally around it, but also, shame on me, Swaggo, on Raiders Fan Radio, if you call and leave a message 3 times, you become what?
A made man, I believe.
That's right. You become a made man. Well, this gentleman and his twin brother have become the first made siblings, the first made twins, right? On Raiders Fan Radio. Well,
yeah.
He left his 3rd message last week, and I forgot to play his music. So,
yeah, you did.
So I'm going to play his call, and which is great. Matthew Mangus in the chat tonight.
Yes.
Props and respect to him. And then after we hear his call, I'm going to play the Made Man music. And congratulations, Matthew, on becoming a made man here on Raiders Fan Radio. Absolutely.
This is Matthew Mangus calling from Fremont, California. Just seen on Instagram that you guys are talking about the Tuck rule, the biggest bullshit the NFL ever tried to pull against the Raiders. John Gruden was the head coach. Belichick and Brady, the whole Patriots dynasty started because of a damn fumble. Sucks that the Raiders weren't the one to beat the Patriots. I always thought, oh, the Raiders are going to end the Patriots dynasty because the Raiders started it. And they're going to rewrite the wrong by beating the Patriots and ending the dynasty. You know, all good things have to come to an end, and hopefully this is the end of the Patriots dynasty. God, I can't stand them. Anyway, thanks for taking my call. F*** the Patriots and f*** Tom Brady. We're so glad you're out. Peace.
You are a made man. You showed you are part of the family by participation. By chance, a man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. Showing you are a friend of Raiders Fan Radio, you have leapt across the line. Friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than the government. It's almost equal to family. Be loyal. Made man, Raider fan. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this as a gift. And don't ever forget, words can hurt more, but silence can break hearts.
All right, congratulations to Matthew Menges on becoming a made man here in Raiders Fan Radio.
Great call.
Great call.
Great call. Quick and to the point.
F the Patriots and F Tom Brady.
There you go. Perfect.
Perfect. That's ultimately what the message of the show is.
Yeah, the whole show today.
We don't have hate in our hearts for anybody, Jeff, but, you know.
It's pretty close.
This play makes it awful close. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so speaking of the play.
Okay.
So we have the play, but we need to talk about what happened after the play.
So this is important. This is okay, so it's tough enough to deal with the existence of it, the happening of it, the heartbreak.
Yes.
But then everything that happened after.
Yes.
Compounds. So break us into it, man.
Yeah, so this play happened. There's still 1:43 seconds left in the game. We all know how the game ended, and blah-de-blah, and a dynasty started, and blah-da-da-da-da, whatever.
Yeah, but the defense, our defense, we kind of let animated, that's the part that gets skipped over a lot.
Yeah, well.
They kicked a game-tying field goal. And
a 45-yard field goal in a foot of snow, which is, that's.
No chip shot.
No chip shot by any means. But I think after this play, and Charles Woodson said it pretty good in one of those clips there, they were just depleted. The air was just let out of them.
Yes.
There really wasn't any, stopping. We couldn't have stopped anybody, at that point. It was just. Everyone was just depleted, kind of like how we feel right now talking about it.
I know, right?
Just a little depleted.
Yeah,
and so but
this feels icky. I got to tell you, going into all the show prep and all this stuff we did around this, we were kind of having fun. You know what I mean? We're doing our thing. We're assembling our kind of our format and our what we were going to talk about and our audio clips and all that. Now in the middle of it and feeling the reaction from the chat room, I'm like, oh man, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I think there's been several people saying, I'm going to hit the dislike button.
Oh my gosh, man, this is an awful idea. Next time I'll tell you what, next time we do a Tales from the Nation live, we'll do something fun.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we need to do a fun one for sure.
We'll do a fun one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Thanks for hanging in there.
Oh, absolutely. No, this
Empire 1975, worst show ever.
Yeah. That's the damn truth. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. But the game ended the way that it did. It didn't go in our favor. They drove the ball down in overtime, kicked the game-winning field goal. They went on to whatever. But
whatever's
to whatever.
Greatest dynasty in the history of sports.
Whatever the hell that they
Yankees,
did.
maybe,
whatever. 6 Super Bowl.
Blah.
Yeah. But that was just the beginning. That was just the beginning of the crazy. Just the downhill spiral that happened afterwards.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that.
Okay, let's get into that. Let's get into the aftermath.
Right after the break.
Okay.
Hey, Raider Nation. This is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
Paul said in the next episode,
We're careful.
We'll be shooting a puppy in the face.
That's awful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh my gosh. We're laughing through real pain.
Oh my gosh. This is awful. This
Yeah.
is the worst idea. So, this is okay. All right.
It was like we all knew that Tales from the Nation, we had to talk about this. So the Band-Aid has just been ripped
off, man.
And next week we'll do like Holy Roller or Sea of Hands or something like that.
We'll
We got to
do
do a
something.
fun one.
We'll do a fun one, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Ron says massive spike in listener alcohol consumption after the
you're
show.
not kidding.
Oh my
Why are they
gosh.
waiting until after the show, Ron?
Don't listen to the show and drive, he says.
Oh my gosh.
Fire 1975.
Push Grandma down the steps. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. All right, guys.
Oh,
Sorry. No,
man.
we'll get through this together, I promise. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
and Q said Brady should have played for the Ohio State University. Because it's so bad.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right.
so after this game, after this play,
The
all that
aftermath,
stuff,
Jeff.
The aftermath. So Al Davis was pretty pissed at Gruden during this game. And I didn't know that until doing a little research.
Yeah.
He was pissed. I guess he was pissed. I think someone in the chat said he was pretty pissed that he iced the kicker at the end of the game.
Like literally.
Yeah, he was already iced, but we called the timeout anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Iced the kicker. Apparently, Al was pissed about that, and Al was also pissed that he wasn't more vocal in challenging this play for the actual
Like confronting
play.
the referees anyways.
Confronting
Yeah,
the referee,
yeah.
being more vocal about it. He was pretty pissed that he didn't do it, and so after the game, he just decided to trade him.
It's trades John Gruden.
Trades John Gruden.
Sends him to Tampa for what? A bounty.
Yeah, 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s and an $8 million check.
Because only Al would include cash considerations for a coach.
Yeah.
I meant to look it up. I don't know if in the history of the league how many coaches have ever been traded. I meant to look that up.
It's a very short list.
That's a very short list. Okay. So let's hit it. I got one more audio clip for you before we let's keep this thing under an hour of misery here. I got one more audio clip for you before we close out the show. Let's go to the aftermath and hear about the trade.
Well, that was the first and only time Al involved me in a coaching search and recommended that he hire
Amy Trask speaking, by the way. Here we go.
Bill Belichick. The thing that stood out to me the most is how smart he is. I learned later from someone that there's an expression for that in the New England area, wicked smart. And I'd never heard that before, but boy, he is so intelligent. And everything he said impressed me.
Davis, though, picked Gruden. In his third season, the Raiders were on the verge of making the Super Bowl, but lost at home in the AFC Championship game.
The Ravens beat us. Gannon got hurt in a game that hurt us. That might have been a different game if we had Gannon.
What's it like in the playoffs, being on that losing side at the end of the game?
It's the worst. It's humbling. It's deathly quiet, and it takes you a while to get over the finality of it all. But we were loaded. We won the division again.
But fall short of the Super Bowl again, losing to the Patriots and their second-year head coach Bill Belichick in a game decided by the Tuck Rule.
Officially 23 yards. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. The Patriots have won. The Tuck Rule saves the day for the Patriots, and New England will advance to the AFC Championship game.
This is embarrassing. There is no other way to put it.
Al Davis was seething. Gruden sensed the most intimidating owner in football might direct his anger toward him.
He was up giving his speech to the team. And he made
This is Tim Brown talking.
the comment, he said, they are never going to allow you guys to win here. And so I let everything settle down. I went to him and I asked him, what do you mean by you guys? I mean, you're our coach. So it's we, is us. Later, we figured out what you guys meant.
My husband and I were out one evening and we got home and as I'm walking in the house, the phone is ringing, and it's Al. I kind of hear like, blah, 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 John Gruden, blah, 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 trade. And so I interrupt. I said, I really think that's a bad idea. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to emphasize this as best as I can. I think this is a really bad idea. And he said to me, you didn't hear me. I told you I just did it.
1 month after losing because of the tuck rule, Davis sent Gruden to Tampa.
How did you end up as head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
You know, I really don't know exactly how it all came about. I got a phone call late, 2 o'clock in the morning or so, from Al Davis, and he said, basically, the parameters of a trade has been worked out. Would you like to go to Tampa Bay? And a lot of things transpired in a matter of minutes. And when I woke up the next day, I was kind of shocked, you know, that much change had occurred in that short period of time.
If we win a divisional playoff game on the road in the snow, no matter what happens in Pittsburgh, I believe that John Gruden remains as a head coach. I don't think he leaves.
My name is John Gruden, and I am the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Golly.
That's the worst, man.
It's brutal. So here's the deal, man. So here's kind of the inside story, right? And this is where we're gonna hopefully bring some it's not fun content, but it's insightful content. We're gonna hope that we bring to you all here by tuning into this here on Tales from the Nation. So in one of our favorite books, and we've had 2 of these 3 authors on our show. So we've had John Kingdon and Steve Corcoran both on the show, and Bruce Kebrick, the 3rd author of Al Davis, Behind the Raiders Shield. He was an Al Davis confidant, Swaggo, right? He was like a player personnel guy for Al for like 31 years.
Yeah, he was in charge of like finding the next coach, like coach hiring and stuff like that. Yeah,
absolutely. So so Kebrick, when he was down at, I believe it was like the East-West Shrine game, John Gruden's dad, Jim, and John Gruden's agent at the time, and I want to make sure I get the names right on here. Gosh, I'll come up with it in a second. Let's see. Bob Lamont. Bob Lamont was John Gruden's agent at the time. So Bob and Jim Gruden, John's dad, come up to Bruce and they say, hey, John is in a contract year, and Al Davis has made an offer to John, but he's lowballing him. So, so the kind of the behind the scenes going on here is that in the wake of the tuck rule game, John Gruden is in a contract year.
Okay.
Well, going into this, everybody knew that Al Davis had an issue with John Gruden becoming a face of the franchise. John Gruden was becoming the face of the Raiders. It was no longer Al Davis. And anything that we know about Al Davis is that he didn't want to be, usurped or front stage by anybody. Like,
he wanted to be the face of the franchise.
He wanted to be the man. And so John Gruden was becoming the man, and that bothered Al. So going into this, Al knew that if the Raiders won that game in Foxborough and we're heading into another AFC championship game, there was no way that he could let John Gruden go. He knew that he would have to sign him to a contract extension.
Right.
So the Raiders lose the game, and many feel that Al used this as an opportunity to use that leverage of the loss that he had in that short window of time to then use John Gruden as a bargaining chip to get additional value in the draft via this trade. And even Bruce Kebrick in this book says, Al called me and said, I can get 2 1s and 2 2s for Gruden. Would you do it? And Bruce Kebrick told him I would trade Vince Lombardi for 2 1s and 2 2s. So
yikes.
Give us, Swaggo, before I get into the aftermath of the aftermath, what did the Raiders get in exchange for John Gruden?
Yeah, so Raider Nation, make your decision. What would you rather have? 2001 John Gruden or Philip Buchanan, Langston Walker, Tyler Brayton, and Jake Grove? And $8 million. I mean,
ouch. Ouch. That's why Amy said in there, I would rather have the generational head coach. I would rather have the guy.
Yeah.
We would have rather have continued on the path with John Gruden. So we trade for those guys. And here's, I'm going to give the last couple paragraphs of the Al Davis Behind the Raiders Shield book. So John Gruden, as according to Bruce Kebrick, John Gruden was a Pyrrhic victory to Al Davis, Keprick said. Al won the battle, but he lost the war. I supported the trade, and I was giddy thinking about all of those draft choices. I later realized that the draft picks were just expensive pieces of paper. If you have a special coach, you don't let him go. Just like that, Davis had jettisoned a successful young coach and turned over the reins to an unheralded assistant coach, Bill Callahan. Once again, Davis was the face of the franchise. Davis' bold move validated a belief held by former Raiders pro personnel Rich Snead said, who was very fond of saying, Al would rather lose his way than win someone else's way.
Wow.
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the aftermath. It literally changed the history of the league one play. And that's why we wanted to dedicate a show to it. As painful as all of this was, I think that it was important for us to do this because, you know, this was significant not just to us as fans, but this literally not only kicked off the dynasty, this literally changed the face of the organization of the Raiders, the way that we would progress then into the rest of the decade.
Yes.
Like, this was a big, if John Gruden is our coach the following year, Rich Gannon's MVP year, like, who's going to be the coach of the Buccaneers that year? I don't know. Not Tony.
It doesn't matter who the coach was going to be, you know, because you could say, I mean, that was our fourth ring.
That was it.
That was our fourth ring, man.
Al Davis literally cost himself another Super Bowl by trading away John Gruden. I firmly believe that, and that's not an indictment of Al. You know how much respect and love and admiration we have for Al around here.
Yes.
But I feel like this one, I think that his ego and his desire to be the man cost us a chance to win. The just win baby got overridden by Al Davis baby. I mean, I hate that. I hope you guys don't, take a run at me too much in the chat here, but what do you think? Swaggo, let me ask you, did Al get in his own way?
I mean, yes. I mean, clearly, yes. Yes, he did. Because, you know, you could say, and we're gonna kind of tease this because after plenty of time to lick our wounds after this terrible episode of Tales from the Nation, we'll have to talk about this Super Bowl. We'll have to talk about the Super Bowl the following year where, you know, Rich Gannon in, you know, MVP form, they go to the Super Bowl, but John Gruden coached all these guys up.
Yeah.
So he knew what they were going to do.
Bill Callahan did not change the offense, literally.
You know, that's
like
why
it took the exact same offense that John Gruden developed and just kept it going.
Kept it going.
And Rich Gannon turned into an MVP.
Exactly. Absolutely. And, you know, I mean, so you ask, why did Gannon throw 3 pick sixes in a Super Bowl? Because Gruden was ready for it.
Yes.
He knew it. He knew it was coming. So we'll talk about that. Or, you know what? Or maybe we won't.
Or maybe we won't. I have that pennant hanging up behind you over there, by the way, just because I want it just to be a sad reminder of what you can't see Jeff's camera shot there, but yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty, the chat, man, you guys rock. We love the chat. And so Kevin the Raider Nerd is in there. He says, after the show, Murf, Swag want to take turns kicking me in the nuts too.
Yeah, right.
I love that. And a lot of people in there. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider's in there. Raider Homer. What's up, Raider Homer? I haven't seen him in a while. He's in there. Sugar Shane. Ron the Materator says this show should be called Tales from Depression.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. So
seriously.
Anyways, thanks for hanging in there with us guys tonight. You know, I know this wasn't the most fun journey to go through, but it's cathartic. And you know what? And now it's out of our system. Now we can go back, or I'm going to go back to pretending this thing didn't exist. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to celebrate the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
This was a Tales of Depression from the Oakland Raiders. So hit us a break there, Swaggo, and then let's come back and kind of close this thing out best we can.
Yeah.
Hey, Raider Nation. I just want to say hello. This is Pastor Mondo of NationMinistry.net. You're listening to Raider Fan Radio with Uncle Mosh and my brother, Murf. Just win, baby.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Mondo. Appreciate that. And so that concludes this episode of Tales from the Nation, Tales from the Nation Live. This has been fun, man. I know it's been kind of depressing, but it has been kind of fun to go through and do this. And the next time we do a live Tales from the Nation, I promise we'll do something that's a little more cheery and a little more fun to celebrate. And we'll also give you guys a good notice. So that way you can send in your calls, emails, something like that. Maybe let us know where you were when, I don't know, pick one, Swaggo. What's one of the ones that we're going to cover up coming up?
Let us know what you were doing for Sea of Hands.
There you go. Absolutely.
You know,
Not born
like
yet.
No, yeah, absolutely. But we've got to do some fun ones.
We got to do some fun. You know
we're
what?
We're going to pump out like a few good ones after this.
Well, we're going to do the Holy Roller tonight, so that will be an audio version only. We're going to have the Holy Rollers going to come out, and that one's hilarious, man.
Oh, it's
just
great.
Bill King's call alone on that game is absolutely hilarious.
Oh,
So we're going to do the Holy Roller. I'll tell you one would be a fun one is a game that I was at was the Raiders beating the Broncos on Sunday Night Football in 2016, kind of like our return to, I'm going to say glory because that was a short-lived thing there in 2016, but man, that was a big deal for us to beat that.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray balled out that game. Like that would be a fun game to cover. Maybe like some of the Charles Woodson like coming back kind of stuff. Anyway, that's a little more recent history. We'll do a live one.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean? And we'll celebrate something fun like that. The Dread Pirate Roberts game or whatever. And then that will give you guys something a little more fun to chime in on there. So anyways, appreciate you. So next week,
okay, Coach Davis just joined the chat and said, wow, glad I missed this episode. Right on, Coach.
Yeah, man, it's been a little rough, but hey, we got through it, and it was definitely an interesting journey back through. So appreciate that, Swaggo. So Swag, we'll be back next week with the Raiders Fan Radio proper.
Yeah, we will.
Plus a lot of Tales from the Nation. We got a lot of Mojo's Pod Show coming up this week.
Yeah, we're going to be coming at you every week with cool, new, interesting content. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be so much fun.
Absolutely. We've actually been kicking around some ideas from even some other new shows, too. So you might
why not?
You might hear a whole bunch from us here at the old RFR Murph's Fan Cave Network here coming up soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, so for Murph, this is your boy Swag Jeff. We got everyone in the chat. We got Raider Homer. We got Just Win Johnny, Ron the Mater Raider, Coach Davis, Pirate 1975, Mark Thompson, Three Ring Raiders, Foxy Scorpio, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Raider Born Rico. We got the whole gang in here. Thank you so much for tuning in to a very special edition of Tales from the Nation, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side, just like Raiders Fan Radio does, even though it was pretty dark tonight. So Murph, why don't you take us home, my man?
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody joining us. You can always subscribe to us at the youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave and check out what we do live every week on Wednesday night. And please subscribe to us anywhere you can find an audio podcast. Just subscribe by searching for Murph's Fan Cave. That's MURFS Fan Cave. Appreciate y'all. Go Raiders and Titans. Go Titans.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Sure, why not?
All right, man. Good night, guys.